Welcome back to Impossibly Kosher, where we break the mold on what kosher can be. My name is Ben, and if you're new here, welcome. My goal is to show you that just because something is kosher doesn't mean it can't be innovative, exciting, and downright delicious. Today, we're going to be diving into something truly special, the HOORAY Lodge 30-inch Santa Maria grill, an absolute beast for any barbecue lover. Alright, now like anything new you receive, let's start with the unboxing. This grill arrives fully assembled, securely wrapped, and ready to roll. You can see how it's wrapped in several layers of plastic, secured onto a skid, and it's honestly a solid piece of equipment, weighing at around 300 pounds. So I know right away that this is built to last. Not to mention that it's made in the USA with high quality materials. Step one with any unboxing is getting off that wrapper. Finally, I decided I'm just going to get some scissors, cut that open. That made it way easier than running around in circles. And a really smart thing that HOORAY does is they put it on tracks directly on the pallet, so you can roll it right off. Now be careful. You may want to have a friend help you get it down. I did it by myself. Wasn't the end of the world, but you may risk that it falls over, and then getting it back up won't be an easy task. That's for sure. Like with all the HOORAY Santa Marias, you have one-handed height adjustment operation, a 3/4 inch stainless steel crankshaft, stainless steel height adjustment cables. What's really nice about this Santa Maria is you got an easy to operate 12 gauge folding table. So you can put all the food there and not have to worry about things falling off or using an external table. And underneath the grill, you got a 1/2 inch expanded metal wood shelf, which is really convenient storing your wood, storing your charcoal, and whatever you may need for your cook. Finally, you got some commercial grade 8-inch aluminum casters here, so it's going to be able to roll without an issue. Now let's talk dimensions. From caster to caster, or unit width, you got about 36 inches. Now from one side all the way to the other, you're just registering, including the wheel, at about 47 inches wide. Height, including the wheel, you got just a bit over 73 inches. Cooking space, 540 inches of pure grilling area. And finally, depth of the unit, just the cooking frame alone, 27 inches deep, and including the folding table, just shy of 40 inches deep. Now that should give you a good idea of how big and the dimensions of this unit. Now, let's talk about the rest. Now my first impressions of the build quality. The first thing that strikes me is the craftsmanship. The frame is constructed from a 14 gauge structural steel tubing, which gives it a rugged industrial look. The 3/16 inch welded steel firebox is designed to withstand extreme heat, which is perfect here, ensuring that this grill is going to handle whatever you throw on it. And remember, we're going to be cooking with live fire, so temperatures are going to go quite high. Are going to be bursting over 700, 1,000, 1,300 degrees and up. The high heat rated industrial coating is another standout feature. It isn't just a paint, it's a specialized coating that can take heat and protect the grill from the elements, ensuring really longevity. Now that being said, I always suggest to season the grill, which is quite easy. You just rub a little bit of cooking oil, canola oil, some beef tallow on any exposed metal elements. It just gives that extra layer of protection. Now let's take a look. Let's talk about the grates, one of the most important parts of any grill. The standard grates come in 3 grates, the 3/8 inch cast iron, which are known for excellent heat retention. This means you're going to be getting a much better sear on your food, whether you're cooking a steak, some veggies, fish, or really anything in between. Now, not everybody likes cast iron, so if you prefer something easier to clean, HOORAY offers an optional stainless steel grates, and those can go directly into the dishwasher, so cleanup really becomes a breeze. And here's a close-up of the grates. You can really see that thickness and quality. These aren't your average grates, guys. And this is just my honest feedback as always. I don't have an affiliate code, I'm not paid by HOORAY, I'm giving an honest review and an honest feedback to you guys as always. Now, a Santa Maria grill is designed primarily for wood cooking or open fire cooking. It gives you an authentic live fire experience, but you don't need to only use wood or wood splits. You can definitely use charcoal, some wood chunks, and the setup is quite straightforward. For charcoal, here's what I would recommend. Start with 1 chimney worth of lit coals, spread them out evenly over the grate. Then add another chimney's worth of unlit coals on top. Wait about 10 to 15 minutes for those coals to reach those high temperatures to the point that you start seeing that white ash. That's when you know you're ready to start cooking. And if you want to add a little extra smokiness, throw in some wood splits or wood chunks, and you'll get a nice smokiness with it. I'm using hickory wood chunks from Bear Mountain Barbecue. I'm leaving a link for them in the description section. You guys can get 20% off. No affiliate codes, just want to help you guys out. Now another cool thing is actually these big tongs. They're called long donkey tongs or something like that, donkey tongs. Basically when you're playing with live fire, the hardest part is to get too close without burning yourself. And you don't really want to use your normal tongs to tend to the fire. So this allows you to be at a safe distance, manipulate hot coals, play around with them, or hot logs, whatever it may be. Now just to give you guys a tip, from what they explained to me is that 2 inches above the lip here, that's where you're gonna get your hottest grilling, right? Really directly over the coals. Now be careful guys, because you're playing over direct live fire and the stuff is hot. Really any direction I'm going, it's insanely hot. You'll see me regularly lighting coals and wood splits using my sous vide gun by Grill Blazers, the flamethrower. I'll leave a link and a discount for that in the description section. Guys, as always, everything I'm using you can find in the description section. It makes lighting up way faster. What's really cool is the way the firebox is designed is to ensure optimal airflow. It's actually raised off the base of the grill, which creates airflow underneath, so coals, wood splits, whatever you're burning can actually burn way more efficiently and for a much longer period of time. Instead of burning hot and fast, you end up with a much more consistent burn. One major standout feature of this grill specifically, compared to any other Santa Maria, is that it's controlled by a one-hand adjustment wheel, which allows you to raise and lower the grates much easier than normally. The stainless steel crankshaft, there are neutral zones, which will allow you to go between raising the grate up and bringing it back down. And it's quite easy and smooth to turn in either direction. Now the stainless steel crankshaft and height adjustment cables are heavy duty, which is really important when you're dealing with heavy grates, heavy pieces of meat, and so on. And honestly, I'm experiencing a smooth operation every time. It's quite critical to have that high quality material, especially when you're using live fire cooking. So where controlling the distance between the food and the flames really makes all the difference. So here's a little demo of how it works. See how easily I'm able to adjust that height, which gives you full control over the cooking temperature. In this video, I'm going to be showing you quickly 3 different cooks that I went through. The first cook is kifta kebabs and smash burgers. The second one is another round of kiftas, but on traditional metal skewers. And the third one, whole tilapias. For the first cook, I'm going to be making some traditional kifta kebabs and smash burgers. No cheese, because with kosher you can't mix meat and milk, but just showing you the grilling process. Honestly, the grill is quite great for both of them. When you're cooking kifta, you need it at a high heat, but not too high to burn the meat. And when you're making smash burgers on a griddle, you need extreme high heat. So what I did was I piled the coals onto one side under the cast iron griddle, so that got burning hot, and then it was able to cook in just a minute or 2. Smash burgers are the easiest things to make. Literally a fresh ball of ground beef, put it down on the griddle, get some beef tallow or some high heat oil onto the griddle, get your meat directly over it, smash it down with a smasher or spatula, whatever you have handy, as much as possible, and hold it there for at least 10 seconds. Then salt and pepper on the top side. Give it about a minute to 2 minutes. Flip another 2 minutes and directly onto your bun. For the kiftas, I'm using a medium ground beef mix, freshly grated onions, garlic, sumac, salt and pepper. Keeping it quite simple, but really flavorful. For the second cook, I'm making again some kiftas, but this time on traditional Middle Eastern metal skewers. These are quite big, about 2 feet long, and the way it works is quite simple again. You get your spice mix. Here I'm cheating a little, I'm using some sumac, dried parsley, some cumin, salt, pepper. I get it into the mixture, and you mix and knead the meat properly for at least 5 minutes. You want it to be stringy. Then you take a nice big chunk and get it right through the skewer, and with a wet hand or wet glove start forming that slowly, pushing that meat more uniformly throughout the skewer. And that's really the trick when you're working with kiftas. And keep doing that until you have all the meat ready. Light up the fire, pour out those coals and wood chunks, let the grates heat up. And in this case, I'm not using grates because I'm going to be cooking it directly over the coals. 30 seconds on each side. The challenge with kifta is if it's on one side too long, the fat will render out before it has time to actually form that crust, and the meat will fall off the skewer. And you can start to see that happening right now. There, you see it's starting to rip down. Quickly I flipped it. But it was too late. I couldn't get it even on video. 2 of those kiftas, they fell off the skewer, they landed in the coals. So I got the grates back there. I got those cooking, but 2 made it through. They were juicy, delicious, perfect crust on the outside. Ugh, incredible. Kissed with that smoke. As the fat renders out of the meat, it hits the charcoal and that smoke kisses that meat. Oh, it's unbelievable. And guys, honestly, even if everything doesn't go perfectly, don't panic. For example, you see a couple of my kiftas fell into the coals. Who cares? You take them off, you put them on the grates, and you enjoy them anyways. The final cook and test, at least for this video, was 2 whole tilapias. Oh, hello, are you going to eat me? Yes, sir, I am. We start off by cleaning off the fish, cutting off the fins, the tail, and getting a couple scores on each side of the fish. Pour some olive oil on each side, and get the rub. The rub is simple: parsley, garlic powder, salt, some sumac, and pepper. Also, I added some vegan butter. Now don't chew my head off, it's just part of the kosher rules. Because this grill now is used for meat, I can't put dairy items on there, so I'm using some vegan butter. I'm putting that in the cavity and in the scores of the fish. The flavor is going to be unbelievable. As always, light up the charcoal, and for fish I'm going to need a blazing hot fire. The hotter it is, the better. And usually it's supposed to help with crisping up that skin so it doesn't stick onto the grates. And for tilapia or fish in general, you want to be extra careful with that heat. And as we go through that cook, I get them on, I let everything heat up. I raised the grates a bit higher than I should have. I used the infrared thermometer. It was registering at 400, 450, 500 degrees. There we go, 400, 450, perfect. Usually I oil up the grates, but I'm going to use an onion today. Let's get our onion. East side. Let's clean out those grates. Leave it on the side there to cook or whatever. Now, time to get the fish on. All right, fish time. Let's get number 1, and it's going to be a quick cook. So number 1. There we go. 1, 2. And fish is delicate. You don't want to overcook it, and you don't want to undercook it. So if you feel that that heat is too strong, raise those grates up. Anything above that halfway point is really for maintenance. You're not going to be getting any real cook or smoke above that halfway point. And for maximum heat, you want to be 2 inches above where that shelf where the lip sits. So now I got it on there. As you saw right there, the skin got stuck, but it's no big deal. I still let it cook off. It became really crispy. Now what's special about a live fire cooking is it's not a set it and forget it. So as it cooks, you got to adjust accordingly. And now I see that the fire kind of is cooling down, so gotta lower the grates. All right, I don't want to overcook it, so I gotta take both of them off. Start with the little guy. See if the bottom is any better. Not really. Now the big one. It's too hot. Yummy. We're gonna get that little onion. The onion out. He looks nice and cooked. Chard on one side. Hopefully he's cooked. We'll find out. All right. I couldn't really wait to come inside, so here's the skin. Gonna let it taste now. That is good flavor. Crispy as sin. That's really what you want with a fish. Let's just taste the meat. You guys can see. Very, very juicy. Wow. Not overcooked at all. Beautiful flavor. That butter penetrated nicely. Sorry for the wind. I can't control that. Really delicious flavor. The spices hit it nicely. The sumac has a little bit of an acidity. I'm gonna pour a little bit more lemon juice on top and enjoy it. Before my final thoughts, let's talk about killing the fire and cleaning those grates. So after cooking, it's cleanup time. After speaking with the HOORAY team for cast iron grates, lowering them all the way down, that way it'll burn off any gunk, and that way you can give them a good little scrape after. That's it. They're clean. You don't need to wash them. With cast iron, the more you use them, the better they become. If you want, you can get some mineral oil or some high heat smoke oil or some beef tallow, which is honestly my favorite thing to use, to lightly season the grates. It helps prevent rust. Now, like I mentioned earlier in the video, if you opted for the stainless steel grates, the cleanup is even easier, honestly. You scrape off any remnants and just throw them in the dishwasher. Now to extinguish the fire. When it's time to shut down, the best method is actually to let the fire burn out naturally. It's not like a pellet grill or a smoker where you have a hood. Here, after speaking with HOORAY to get the best method, you lower the grates all the way down. That's going to starve the fire of oxygen, kill the fire in much quicker time than lifting those grates up. Now, it's really not recommended that you throw water onto that fire. It can cause a thermal shock and could potentially damage your grill. So let the fire die down on its own. Once everything dies down, you basically scoop up all those ashes, or you get them through with a brush or what have you. And then you use this handy shovel. Shovel them all into the ash bin right there, or the grease bin. And once you're all done, you can pour a little bit of water just to kill any remaining embers, and make sure that this is all the way at the bottom to choke that fire. So it's quite an easy cleanup once you get the hang of it, but honestly, it takes some getting used to. Now, just because I said it takes some getting used to doesn't mean that it's not incredibly cool. Like the Weber took a while to get used to. Once you get the hang of it, it's a lot of fun. All right, final thought. So the HOORAY Lodge 30-inch Santa Maria grill is a serious piece of equipment, guys. High quality materials, thoughtful design features. It's clear that the grill was built and designed for those who are passionate about live fire cooking. Now, if you've never done live fire cooking, don't let that dissuade you, because one of the things that I absolutely love about this grill is how it's designed to be an entertainment piece. Whether you're cooking for a small family dinner or a large gathering, the grill is not only going to perform, but it's going to impress quite well. Guys will always be gathering around it to comment on what you're doing wrong. Another thing is that the versatility is another really great point. You know, whether it's searing steaks, slow cooking some ribs, or grilling a delicate fish, the adjustable grates really help with that. Now, in all honesty, it takes some time to get used to. If you're used to the set it and forget it, it will take some time. But like anything, whether it's a Weber kettle and the basics of charcoal cooking, to a pellet grill or an offset smoker, it's important to learn and test so that you can see how your grill performs best for you. The only thing that I would say that could make this better is if there was some type of, metal container or cover that could be placed on top to smother that fire right away. But other than that, I have no complaints. There is a rotisserie kit that you can get that is an accessory. I may get it at a later point. There is a grill cover as well to protect it from the rain and all the seasons. That's on its way as well. That's going to be included in another video. So, final recommendation, who is this grill really for? If you're someone who loves barbecue, who loves grilling, and you love live fire cooking, and you want to take your outdoor cooking game to that next level, I think that the HOORAY Santa Maria grills are an awesome choice. I don't feel that it's just a grill. It's an experience. Yes, it may be a little more money, but it's worth the investment in my opinion. Made in USA, high quality materials, and at least for now, it feels that it's a one-time purchase for a lifetime product. Now, if you're intrigued by this grill, or if you got any questions, drop a comment below. I love hearing from you guys, and I'm always here to help. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps the channel grow, and it means you'll never miss out on the latest content. And of course, check out the links in the description if you want more information on HOORAY, the Lodge 30, Santa Maria grills, or what have you. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and remember, savor the tradition, but taste the innovation. I'll catch you on the next one.